I got a question for you. Can bad dreams hold the key to those New Year's resolutions that we never get to actually fulfill? Stay tuned because this show starts right now. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Mario here at Health Spice and Live Show HSL. And I want to ask you a question. You know, everybody, when it gets to the end of the year, they start thinking about, I have to have my New Year's resolutions, whether it's I want to lose weight, or I just want to do that trip that I haven't done, or maybe I'm just saving money for this particular home that I want to get. You know, we all have our own ideas of what is it that we want to achieve in the new year. But like I said, can bad dreams, nightmares, actually hold the key to getting them done? And actually, let's do a little travel here and understand, where did this whole thing of the resolutions, the New Year's resolutions, comes from? In fact, it goes back to 4,000 years back, and we have to go back to the Babylonians. They started to have this celebration where they would write down promises that they wanted to make, and then they would go back towards the end of the year, which was sometime around mid-March, that was their calendar, and they would look back to see if in fact they had accomplished those things, and if they made promises, did they keep the promises? And everything was linked to the following aspect of it. It was the religious life. They really had this belief that if in fact they did not comply with those promises they were making, well, the gods would not be happy and they would be punished. Well, now let's just go a little bit forward, and we go back to almost 2,500 years ago to the Roman Empire. And during that time, they changed how the calendar was being done, and Emperor Julius Caesar at the time decided, you know what, we're going to change this calendar and we're going to start it in January. And the whole point of doing that was after the god named Janus. And why did they pick Janus as the god of this new year? Well, because the representation of that god had two faces. One face is looking to the back, and the other face is looking ahead to the future. And that was a way of keeping track of those things that were happening before and those things that would happen in the future, and how they would kind of put the two together. So now we move further forward to our times, and we think about, not necessarily as religious rites and things that we do in that sense, but really more in the self-improvement side of things. So the question is, why is it, if so many people, they have resolutions for the new year, so few people actually get them done? In fact, 45% of people, they claim that they actually have resolutions for the new year, and only about 8% of those people, they actually say that they accomplish what they set forth to do. Why is that? And part of that may actually be locked up in nightmares and bad dreams. Why is that? Well, when we're dreaming, we are experiencing whatever is happening in that dream. We're having a physical experience of that dream, and there's plenty of science behind that to actually prove it. So we are going to have a little trick, if you will, a little hack, so that we can empower your 2021 resolutions, so that we can improve on that 8%. We want to be, you know, getting closer and closer to everybody having their resolutions met. How do we do that? The first thing is, we have to have, let's say, 3 things, simplified, that you want to see happening in this new year coming up. But now, after you've written them down, and it's going to be really key to have your journal, your book, somewhere where you write, and I want you to write down those 3 things, let's say, that you want to accomplish as part of the resolutions for 2021. After that, the first part of this exercise is going to be to have visualization. You're going to be really kind of thinking about that, feeling it in your body, and creating sensations in your body around those 3 things, so you get excited about it, just like in a dream, and you're really bringing that into a physical experience. The second step in this formula is you have to have a plan. You have to write it down. That's why it is so important to have that. What are the steps, the concrete steps, the physical steps that you will take, so that those resolutions are going to be there and you can be looking back at them so that you don't forget them? There's a physical place. You've actually gone from the ether, if you will, from the air, from thin air, and put them down. The third step that you're going to be following is pick maybe 2, 3 friends that you can actually tell them what those resolutions are going to be. This is going to be social proof, and it's going to keep you accountable. And you're going to be asking them, hey, these are my resolutions for 2021. I want you to be my teammate or teammates. I want you to be part of it so that I get to celebrate what that is. And the last thing is, you have to create, when you're drawing that plan, a reward. You have to have something that you're going to say, when I get this thing accomplished, as I am going in that journey to get that resolution done, when that day comes, this is what I'm going to give myself for doing that, besides whatever that resolution is. This is so key. Lastly, as you're creating that reward, it is so important that also in concert or alongside with those plans, that you draw what is it that you're doing, how much of it, and by when. If you don't put dates to it, it kind of like, oh, you know, I can start next week. Oh, I can start next week. And before we know it, we'll be celebrating the new year and nothing would have been done. I really look forward to seeing what those resolutions were. Send us a message in the social media, write us a little note, and let us know what those things are so we can be celebrating you here. As I like to say in every single show, from my heart to your heart, I'm Dr. Mario saying, a tu salud. Happy 2021. Go get 'em.